like that I thought was a really good metaphor for how long people spend in restaurants in a day. Just, I don't know. It's just crazy.
I think my big question for the movie was where the dishwashers were. Like when this is all going down, do you think there's a couple dishwashers in the back that are just smoking cigarettes? Like, I gotta clean this shit up now.
That's a really good question.
Here's the thing: if you know,
everybody's kind of overlooked them. Like they're like, wait, what?
If you know how it's gonna, how the meal's gonna end, are you really doing dishes though?
Right.
Yeah,
I think they cared about the craft.
Yeah.
Down. Oh, I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels, and with me, as always, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
Slide Peppy, where?
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last woke dragon. Give it up for Zach Roan.
Yes.
And I like you guys' energy today, whatever it is. And a very special guest with us, Chef Myranda Bauman. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Very excited. Wanted to have you on the program for a long time. I somehow ended up in a judge spot for one of the cooking competitions you were in at Milktooth, and you made my favorite dish that night.
Oh shucks!
It was, I forget what it was, but it was Mexican. It was do you remember what you made?
It was veal sweetbreads tostada.
The tostada, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the best things I'd eaten that year. It was so good. I was pulling for you to win. I mean, I voted for you, but
Well, thank you.
I like how Dyke chooses his own winners. Like, yeah, that guy won, but let's have this person on the program. I like that. I respect that move. That's really brilliant. Can you explain this competition to the people that don't have a clue of what this food cooking competition was?
I'll let Randy explain it because she was in it.
Yeah, okay. It was called the 86th competition. It was kind of a combination of things. We had to make 2 dishes. We had an hour to do it, and we had to answer food-related trivia questions to determine who got to pick what off of a table of ingredients first, essentially. So, you get some advantage there. I definitely did, answering some trivia questions.
Are you a food nerd? The trivia?
I mean,
It's okay.
yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are some things that I get really nerdy about, and some things I just kind of go about my day and whatever.
Right.
You picked some really good blocking. You could tell you had a good strategy to it, because there were some things where you could, if you picked it, no one else could also use it out of their pantry too. So I feel like there was some really good strategic moves that were made.
Oh yeah, definitely. I went straight for, I did a pasta dish, and then I also did the veal sweetbread dish. And with the pasta dish, I went right for the only pasta that I saw in the parm, because you can do anything with pasta and parm. So
when we're talking veal, we're talking young calf, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure that was the right.
Yeah, for sure. The sweetbread, I can't remember which gland it is exactly, but it's a gland, and I was really surprised that we were given that to cook in that short amount of time. But I did it, and it was cool. It was fun. It was hard, honestly.
It was I thought it was a very smart presentation. It tasted the best. I mean, sometimes it's something so simple, all the judging criteria of looks and technique and all that, and then sometimes it's just the flavor was on point. And I really love the food scene in Indianapolis. I love the cooking competitions and the fun stuff, and not just the competition part, but the bringing of people together. The fact that there was so much interest in watching chefs, perform on that level is really cool. We do a thing that we're going to do next month, and it's called the Meat Cake Invitational.
Yeah, baby.
And we basically make wedding cake size cakes out of meat, and the only criteria is it has to be 95% meat, and there has to be enough samples for whoever buys tickets or whatever.
Sure.
So this is our 3rd year. So we started the first year in 2020, it was just kind of just like a bet between me and Zach.
No, it was a bet between you and Bridget.
And me and Bridget, and then Zach got in on it.
And then I was like, I want in on it.
He said you came. Go ahead.
And then so there was 3 of us, and it was my idea because I thought I would just execute. I knew I was going to bowl over Bridget. I wasn't worried about Zach at all. I came in 3rd place out of 3.
The thing is, no one was worried about Zach.
Nobody. I was very quiet, under the radar.
Yeah.
I made a crab cake that was like this big. I iced it with a remoulade, and then I did like a seared tenderloin that I iced with horseradish cream cheese, and then I had a tartare with hollandaise that I poured over it.
That sounds
It was a surf and turf.
Well, the funny thing is, he came in. The presentation was amazing. He came in with this plain crab cake, and it was like bland. Nothing was on it. And so throughout like the day, like he started building it up in front of us. We're like, oh, this is an actual thing. He actually came to play, and then he became our king.
Dang.
And he was dethroned immediately the next year.
Oh no.
Casey, can you scroll down and get that full poster? I'm really happy with the flyer here. Went through a couple different variations with our flyer guy Ross Schaefer, and man, it looks so pretty.
It's really cool.
So pretty. But yeah, we have. I think if you scroll down, there should be like in the post or something. Maybe no, it's in the. Never mind, it's on the Facebook thing. But we have Zach Rohn competing, Bridget Horan, myself, Ashley Brooks, Grace Seibert. Who else? Chef Stephen Hackney, Michael Gomez, Ross Katz, some heavy heaters in the meat game. Heavy hitters in the meat game.
Heavy meters.
Heavy meters.
Heavy meters.
Last year we did it at Almost Famous and we sold out, and so this year we're growing bigger and better, and it's just fun. It's a fun time. It's a very like. Almost kind of WWE kind of atmosphere, you know, like people get really like, because I like to take something real silly and get real serious about it, like who can build the best meat cake. But we had some people we had guests come out from Ohio last year. Yeah. Like people were just real curious about it. Some people were walking down the street and saw it. They were just like, what are they doing in there? It's a meat cake competition. They're like, all right, we got to come in and check that out.
Yeah, what is that?
So yeah, tickets are on sale right now if you go to Eventbrite. It's going to be February 26th this year. I'm very excited. It's going to be at Tinker House Events. So I feel like we're getting real fancy. Like we're coming on up in the world.
It's a Hoosier meat match.
It is.
It's a very Hoosier thing. You couldn't do this in New York, I don't think.
Or the summertime.
Or
meat caking is a winter sport.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, or Seattle. You don't want to do that there. It's a very Hoosier thing.
Very Midwest.
Very Midwest. And there's going to be music. There's going to be
booze.
There's going to be alcohol. And all kids could join, correct?
Yeah, they can't join in the booze. But
they're not
join in the
legally. They're not allowed to.
Well, before we had it in a bar last year, so this was the first time. I forget children exist sometimes. Like I just kind of
it's off your radar.
Yeah, I've always worked in adult spaces. It seems like I've always worked in like bars and restaurants and stuff where there's just not a lot. So like when I see kids sometimes, like, oh yeah, little P, I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have a Harder Brunch babysitter. If you just need to bring your kids and drop them off in the playpen.
That would. Is that you?
Oh no, I'm hosting.
Okay,
I can't do that. I don't have that time.
Yeah, so that's very exciting. Well, Randy, you came on a very special day, and you were a very good sport because not very often do we assign homework, but you hadn't seen the movie yet, The Menu, and you've watched it twice in the past week.
Yes, I watched it last night and this morning.
I think it takes 2 viewings sometimes to get all of it.
I definitely like to watch it twice. Usually once without subtitles, just so I'm, paying attention more to like the cinematography and other things like that, and then once with subtitles because I also can't hear
everything you missed, little details.
Yeah, so that's usually my go-to MO.
So obviously, big spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie The Menu, you may want to skip ahead to the next 10 minutes. But I don't know, Randy, do you want to give like a synopsis of the movie?
Sure, I can try. So, horror movie, essentially. This couple, quote unquote, goes, buys a really expensive tickets to this restaurant on an island. It's super exclusive and hard to get into. Turns out the menu has some crazy plans in store for these people, and some gnarly, violent, kind of psychological shit goes down.
Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing, I guess, one of the many interesting things about this movie too is that there is a full, obviously, menu as is implied by the name, and so they show and describe each course as they go along, and it has a direct, connection to what's happening at that time or what they're putting the guests through. And so we tried to copy some of those courses, and I was very excited about some of these because they're fun, they're kind of fun things to do, and it's a little bit more outside of what we normally do.
I feel like there's a lot more performance today.
Yeah.
than our usual brunch.
Well, there was so much, there's so much drama that goes on in the movie. I don't think I would have been able to
Kill yourself?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. No, I don't know if I was gonna be able to commit to like being as creepy as that. What's that guy's name? The main dude, the actor,
Ralph Fiennes or Fiennes.
Man, he killed that role. Like,
dude,
it was
he's
great.
Scary.
Yeah,
he's Voldemort.
Yeah.
That is Voldemort, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I thought everyone was John Leguizamo. Man, I feel like he kind of phoned it in a little bit.
I
think
liked
so?
him.
Yeah?
I liked him a lot.
I
yeah.
feel like he would play the part. He wasn't being too much. He could have been too much in this role if he wanted to.
It wasn't a Violent Night Santa
it
Claus
was,
movie.
It was no Mario Brothers. I can tell you that much.
Did you know Will Ferrell was part of producing this?
No, I had
Menu?
no idea.
Yeah.
Huh.
Apparently him and Adam McKay work together a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So the menu, the first course was called the Island, and that was scallops served with an entire ecosystem, which in the movie is served on a hot rock, and it has some like the seaweed.
Let me tell you, the rock was hot.
Different flowers from there's a picture of it. Different flowers from the island. So we served scallops on a hot rock, and that's when I remembered that you said that you don't eat bivalves. So we made you a special potato scallop.
Yeah, scallop potato. It was lovely.
Oh, that's sweet.
Now I feel like we invented vegan scallops. So like if I ever need to do that for a vegan meal, I'm like, oh
Yeah, for real. It was
definitely
great.
do that.
Can you imagine charging scallops price for a?
I sure can.
Right?
Just call them vegan scallops.
They're even more expensive because they're vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Put
go.
a little truffle salt on there. Got them. And then the what do
Very
we call
on
it?
theme with this movie.
Rambutan.
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 Yeah.
That was my first time eating one. It is like a funky grape inside. It's so weird. It looks like a little sea urchin on the outside. Had you had those before?
No, but like when I would swim in the Caribbean, I would see things that looked like that were actually sea urchins. So I thought it was a sea urchin that was going to poison us.
It was really cool looking as
Yeah.
far as the sea urchin vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's got the little seed on the inside. It was much better than I expected for some reason. When I first saw that, I was like, this is gonna taste weird.
Rambutan, Ross Butan's brother.
Oh, let's hit that boo button for me.
That's not a applause. Sorry about that, guys.
The second dish was Zach.
I did the bread plate with no bread with spice sauces. So I made different sauces for a lot of the people that are associated with Harder Brunch. I did a peppercorn and truffle aioli, which I called 1/40th an egg for Gwen. I did a raspberry chipotle curd for Casey because he's
Did you make that?
Yeah. I made all the sauces. I made a chicken pate and butter spread that I put smoked bacon salt on in honor of the Meat King being dethroned this year. Then I also had the Haitian spaghetti sauce for Thad.
Man.
And
Fire.
then I did grilled cheese for Dyke.
Yeah. Just set this up for people that are still listening.
Everyone tuned out.
Just now. No, I'm just saying, like, for people that are listening that haven't seen the video, there's a scene where he shames these rich assholes and does not give them bread, which, as you can imagine, a lot of complaining starts happening. But some people are admire this jump that he does, this art that he puts in front of them, and they're tickled because they want to feel like they're the higher class that gets that art. And it's just I love that you added that to the menu here.
And you are also really wanting bread, I heard.
Well, I did.
I heard you asked as a joke, and then you were like, "But really, can we get some bread?"
No, I was doing lines from the movie. I'm with it, Zach.
Oh, I thought so. Yeah, you did a really good job acting.
Yeah,
Like you convinced yourself.
Here, I'll say this. This is, I think, one of my top 10 favorite brunches that we've done because I felt like everybody put, like, you guys always put great effort, but it was just, like, more of a theatrical production today, which was a lot of fun.
It definitely was. And I like challenging myself a little bit more. And very rarely do I have a Friday and Saturday off, so I was just like, all right, a little bit more time to plan this out and do something fun. And I always get nervous when we have like chefs on. Like if I have comedians on, I don't care. I'm just like, they're gonna love it. We have chefs on. I'm always like, we either got to do something like theatrically cool, I feel like, or we just do something like really basic and just try to do it really good. Like we'll just like pizza,
Yeah,
like
totally.
barbecue.
Wait, you made fun of me when I said pizza was phoning it in.
Yeah, I mean, we never phoned it in. I said we'd do something like basic, like streamlined.
Okay, all right.
We never phoned it in on this show.
You never phone it in. That's Harder Brunch.
Except on our away shows.
Yeah,
That's us phoning it in. So we do phone it in.
we go to someone else's restaurant.
When we literally call people.
Would we phone it in advance?
Yeah, we phoned in pizza last week.
Just phoning it in.
See? I think Thad's right.
The next course was the chicken tacos. That's in the movie. They're served with scissors in them, and it's to represent the chef's boyhood trauma.
Well, his dad was abusive and he had a stab in the leg.
Well, as you do. And then for some reason, when I watched the movie, I forgot that this was one course. I thought the tacos was one course and the chicken. I don't know why, but I really liked. That was kind of a collaborative effort between me and Zach. I like the fact that Zach used all the different shears and the different scissors.
It was a nice effect.
Yeah, I liked all the scissors in it. And then we wrote dark secrets with edible markers on all the tortillas.
Yes.
Right.
What was your dark secret then?
I mean, I think, we could release them later on Instagram if people want to really see these dark secrets.
That's a good idea.
The next course was called the mess, which was bone marrow, roasted winter vegetables, and au jus. I don't know, man. Bone marrow is one of my favorite things. It's just like there's not much to it, Like
Yeah, it's just tasty.
Just to be good. And then I repurposed some of that marrow. Zach used some of it on his grilled cheese that he made, and he didn't use the bread for the side. There's this whole debate that we have about what constitutes a grilled cheese. And my thing is like...
No, stop. Wait a second. We need to get before we bias our opinions.
I'm not biasing.
No. So what's the limit of a grilled cheese to you? What makes it too much?
I've had this discussion in my own head and with people a lot because it's
important.
It's hard to define, honestly. I think grilled cheese is hard to define. I have a grilled cheese on at work right now, and it's cheese, cornichons, and a grapefruit mostarda that I made.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
And it is. It's delightful.
Yep. Some people would say that's a melt. How do you feel about that statement?
No, wait, what was it?
It's grapefruit mostarda, Munster cheese, and cornichons.
No, that's fine. It's grilled cheese.
That's two ingredients besides the
That
cheese.
are not cheese.
Condiments don't count, period. Like, condiments are a free pass.
What's a cornichon? Is a cornichon a condiment, or is a cornichon?
What is a cornichon? Is what?
It's a tiny pickle.
It's a pickle.
It's like an itty bitty baby pickle.
So what about a grilled cheese with bacon on it? Is that a grilled cheese or is that a bacon melt?
I draw the line with grilled cheese at protein, personally. I don't think that a sandwich I don't think a grilled cheese with meat on it is a grilled cheese. I think that it has become a melt or something else.
Can we hit the applause button for that?
No, I'm on the board.
You reached for it too.
I did, almost. You almost got me. So you're saying no bacon.
I don't think so, no. For some reason, in my mind, a grilled cheese is, first of all, vegetarian, and it's got just like accoutrement on it. It doesn't have anything that makes... There's nothing on it that's a star. Like, the bacon would be the main thing of the sandwich, right? If you put it on a grilled cheese. But it's like, nah, dude, you got to let the cheese
because I think nobody goes and orders a bacon sandwich. Nobody says that.
Well, sure.
They all say, I'd like a grilled cheese with bacon. And that's where, it, like, to me, like, bacon's almost in the condiment category.
But you put bacon on anything and it just tastes like bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, true.
Wow,
it's delicious.
That's why nobody orders. Can I have a cheeseburger with bacon on it? It's a bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's not a bacon sandwich.
Whatever, bacon comes first. Bacon trumps. So she said, the meat becomes the star. It trumps the cheese.
Yes.
Does it trump the cheese? Pickle doesn't trump the cheese.
Yes.
Bacon always trumps cheese.
It depends what cheese you're using.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm working it.
I don't know.
Here's what I did.
Now this is getting interesting.
Here's what I did in front of Dyke.
Cheeses.
So I made a grilled cheese in front of him, and I put like tomatoes, and then wilted a bunch of spinach, and then I took the grilled cheese and I opened it up. I scraped all the innards into a blender, and then blended them, and that was my grilled cheese. So there was no bread or cheese on it.
Now, and as he was doing that, I said to prove me wrong. And I would have been totally on board with this. If you would have put all that shit in the blender and made an aioli out of it and put that on that grilled cheese, that would have been a grilled cheese, my friend.
Fair enough.
With all the flavors of the rainbow.
So bacon jam. Would bacon jam count?
Yeah. Bacon jam walks like... What I said was...
So you can fry that. We can fry sugar and it stops being a protein? Because that doesn't make sense to me.
You can fry that. You can fry the whole sandwich in bone marrow. You know what I'm saying?
And there's a protein.
It is a protein, but it's still grilled cheese.
Yeah. So we're saying that the protein's not a good...
Solid protein.
That is not a good... Well, bacon jam's solid.
To Randy, what were you going to say, Randy?
No, I'm just... This has just introduced an element to this whole realm that I hadn't thought of before. And I'm revisiting what I thought was a conviction about grilled cheeses. Because bacon jam...
Yeah. He'll make you rethink all of your...
Well, because bacon jam is bacon.
But it's like a condiment, though. Like... Yeah. If you were to put bacon jam on something, you know that like that's a strong
flavor. See, that just destroys all of the arguments against bacon being on the grilled cheese.
This is tough.
I feel like you started out on Dyke's side, which doesn't usually happen.
No, I like am though.
But you're leaning towards Zach's side.
Well, I'm playing devil's advocate here for the bacon jam because I don't know.
Let's pretend that bacon jam doesn't exist. Let's pretend that bastard died before
he found some kind of weird loophole.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that's the only scenario.
Let's pretend Zach doesn't exist and go on this menu. But he always finds a way. The next course in this movie is just a really good cheeseburger, which is fun for me to make. I used to own a burger food truck. So there was a point where I was so tired of making cheeseburgers that I never wanted to make one for the rest of my life. But now enough time has passed where I really enjoy making a really good cheeseburger.
It was a very good cheeseburger. And
the secret, use a little bit of that bone marrow on the cheeseburger. A little bit of that bone marrow. And
so that bone marrow outshined the burger.
God damn you.
Can I ask, was that white American you put on it?
No.
What was it?
It was just American cheese.
It was just normal American?
That was just a craft single.
Oh.
And then and then Sauce Boss Zach made a secret sauce that we put on there too.
Yeah.
Secret sauce. And then, I mean, really the star of the entire day was the dessert. The big closer.
Got it.
We brought in an industrial Coke mirror.
Table-sized.
A table-sized mirror for the presentation, and then you're gonna have to set this one up, Zach.
So we built a bonfire out of graham crackers, all sorts of like Hershey's chocolate, and a bunch of marshmallows. Then we had some sauces on the side. I did a rosemary caramel. I did a matcha whipped cream. There was a blackberry thyme preserves, and then a smoked maple peanut butter. I doused the marshmallows in Everclear and lit them on fire. Woo! And threw a graham cracker sand over the top to put it out.
It was awesome.
I think there's been two. I think the two biggest things maybe that we've done on the show were both Zach and we did a 7 Deadly Sins brunch where we had 7 chefs and everybody got randomly assigned a deadly sin, and you just had to make a course that thought best represented that sin. And Zach got gluttony. And he made this giant Dagwood sandwich with like a dowel rod in the middle of it. And I mean, it was what?
It was like 3 feet
Scooby-Doo
tall.
style.
Oh yeah. It was like 3.5 feet
There
tall.
were like donuts on it, and pieces
Sick.
of pizza, corn dogs, and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Zach, you definitely put the present in presentation.
Thank you, Thad.
Hit the pause button there for yourself.
Just making a chicken salad.
No,
I think
Not it.
I think until today that was like
that was actually the happy birthday.
That was not it.
I think today that was the biggest demonstration we had, but like lighting it on fire, lighting a bonfire of s'mores.
And I like what you said, like the fire lit up some of the marshmallows fully, some of them were just half burnt.
Yeah, the variation of like how the fire hit the marshmallow is super nice for sure.
And the melted chocolate.
Not being sure if it was going to cause a real problem like in the house.
That was my worry.
Hey, you guys were prepared though. You had the fire extinguisher, the sand.
That thing's expired.
I was not emotionally prepared.
Yeah.
I just wanted to look like I was being responsible.
Well, I felt
for
safe,
insurance.
so.
Don't you have to pay more in insurance if you're doing flambe in restaurants? Like, don't they have a higher?
Oh, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that were true.
Because I've definitely worked in places where they're like, we're not allowed to serve anything.
I feel
flambe.
like that's something that people say just because they don't want to fuck with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I feel like that's not a real thing. Where
I feel like the fire marshal would freak out every time. You tell me they're building a what? They're building a hibachi what? We're not doing that.
Yeah, because if you run like a flaming drink on a special or something like that, you don't have to like go submit a letter to the.
So you're telling me there's gonna be fire there every night? No,
I don't know.
You would have to be choosy about who you let do it, though, for sure.
Yeah.
If you had your a flambe license or something like that.
I don't think they'd need to be certified, but it is not a.
Sir, I went to
Dummy.
see your flambe license.
Oh, I'm a phlebotomist.
Please,
No.
please boo.
Oh wait, boo!
We used them all
You
up.
can't laugh and then boo. You can't have both, sir.
That was I was a sad laugh.
I heard it.
All right. Hey, this is a good place to take. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Over the next few hours, you ingest fat, salt, sugar, protein, bacteria, fungi, various plants and animals, and at times an entire ecosystem. But I have to beg of you one thing. It's just one. Do not eat. Taste, savor, relish. Consider every morsel that you place inside your mouth. Be mindful. Do not eat. Our menu is too precious for that. And look around you. Here we are on this island. Accept all of it and forgive. And on that note, food.
Welcome back to the Harder Brunch Podcast. Dad, that was a really great intro that you did. I was back cooking, so I missed it live the first time. So listening to it here,
Oh, well, thank you.
I got to actually hear a little bit of it recording live, and it was just as amazing as on the on the recording.
Well, thank you guys. I just wanted to add to the eeriness and the theme, and so this year I'm trying to get more musical.
If we haven't spoiled it too much and you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. I think one of my biggest takeaways from the movie is one of the things that we've talked about kind of ad nauseum on this program, because we really did basically start this right during the world falling apart. And so we've talked a lot about restaurant burnout and like how the industry, people like restaurants closing, and just like also just people being genuinely shittier, sometimes. And just like I just burnout, it just happens. And it like I watched it a couple times and got different things out of it. But the first time that I watched it, I was like, oh, this is a movie about this chef just being burnout. I think it's very layered. I think there's a lot of different stuff to it. But I think on the first watch for me, I just focused in on the like, oh yeah, this is somebody who's just done it all and is just fucking done with it. And it's a weird thing because it's like for me. Personally, I went to culinary school. I thought I was going to be a restaurateur the whole rest of my life. And like, I hit this weird place where it was just like, I love food, but then I realized I don't want to run a restaurant, you know? And it was kind of a tough pill to swallow at the time, but I've fallen so much back in love with food now that I can do it on my own terms. And I don't have to do it in a way that was growing more and more toxic for me. Yeah. But it's also difficult when I have working chefs on too, because it's like, I know we feel that too, but also like, it's like you are in the industry, like, so I don't know if any of that resonated with you. I feel like sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, well, when he was talking about his one day off and he watched that crappy movie and it like bothered him because it was his one day in months to live. Like I feel like everybody that's worked in the service industry knows, specifically kitchens, knows what that feels like, to just be working so much that you don't really have any time to do anything. So yeah, that definitely hit home for sure. But to see him like kind of get excited to, like you said, like to cook, like to get excited about cooking something, like with the cheeseburger, it was a lot more simple. That was cool too, to just realize there is something under there somewhere, like that you still enjoy about it.
I think it really spoke out to burnout for the whole restaurant to me watching the second time, because like you asked the question, like, why did everybody fall behind the chef and then kill themselves? And then and I started asking and wrestling with that question. Well, a lot of time I feel like watching the industry, there is this lead chef that people will die for, that do put their ass on the line and that are up late hours just because they want to please the chef, and it's a whole team working, so from the top down. And so even there's this like one scene where this girl feeds this journalist, and she's like, the journalist's like, oh, this is amazing, and the actual restaurant lady worker, she starts crying, and she's like, man, if you would have just said this before. And I felt like they were in over their heads just as much as that head chef. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely also thought when you were just talking about that one day off thing, I remember when I was working on the food truck and I was working 16-hour days, the hardest I probably ever worked and the least amount of money I've ever made. It was a very rough summer for me. And then there was like one day where I don't even think I had a day off, but I got off early, and I remember I got to take a shower, and like I just took a very long shower. It was like a summer day, and I put on fresh clothes. I put on like new clothes that I had just bought. And it was the first time I remember feeling clean, because a food truck is a burger food truck, right? So it's just like the greasiest thing you can imagine. And so it was like the first time I remember feeling clean all summer. And I walked a few houses down to my friend's house, and they threw water balloons at me. Now, this is like a fun prank to do in the summertime under normal circumstances, but it was just like the one time I felt clean. And then all of a sudden they threw water bottles at me, and I remember just feeling like I wanted to cry. I was just like, I wanted to cry or like yell, and then I was like, I don't want to seem unhinged because it was a water balloon, but I was just like, well, this day's ruined.
Yeah, but like that the industry will do that to you though, like put you in such a fragile like mental state, like it can be debilitating, and I feel like you really have to advocate for your own mental health, your own work-life balance, because like he says in the movie, he quotes MLK in the movie, the oppressor is, never gonna just give it to you, you know? So in the industry, you gotta ask for it, you know? You gotta speak up because it's not gonna happen otherwise in this industry for sure.
Well, that was one of the things too, like we talked about, you know, we had these long conversations when the world stopped about like, well, now, you know, when things start going up again, like we're going to do everything different, you know, we're going to treat people with respect. We're going to reevaluate, you know, how the restaurant industry works. And then I feel like we all just went back to work,
yeah.
You know, and like some of those deep discussions that we thought about having kind of got left on the table. But then again, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm kind of 1 foot in that world anymore where like I work part-time mainly by myself as a pit master, and then I work as a bartender on the weekend. So I've removed myself of as much of the toxic parts of it as I can.
I think that it's really actually this movie coming out with like Noma closing and the reason that Noma is closing, you know?
Yeah.
Like just that self-awareness of realizing that the way that they're not only like running the business but employing people is not sustainable because of what it does to the human body and, you know, just the long hours. And like these people in the movie, they lived on this freaking island in like, you know, slept on cots. And it's like that I thought was a really good metaphor for how long people spend in restaurants in a day. Just, you know, I don't know. It's just crazy.
I think my big question for the movie was where the dishwashers were. Like when this is all going down, do you think there's a couple dishwashers in the back that are just smoking cigarettes? Like, I gotta clean this shit up now.
That's a really good question.
Here's the thing: if you know,
everybody's kind of overlooked them. Like they're like, wait, what?
If you know how it's gonna, how the meal's gonna end, are you really doing dishes though?
Right.
Yeah, fair
I think they cared about their craft.
Yeah.
That is true. So we talked about some more bummer parts of the industry. Let's talk about some more of the fun parts of the industry. Where did you get your start?
So I moved to Indy 10 years ago. I went to the Chef's Academy before it closed. And then right out of culinary school, I started working at the Bagel Deli in Broad Ripple. I worked there for about 3 years. I managed it for 2. It honestly taught me so many restaurant skills. Speed, like people coming in on a Sunday morning, like hungover, wanting a hot ass melty bagel sandwich. Like you got to move. So I learned how to be fast there, and I learned how to actually interact with people there. And then just kind of bounced around Indianapolis a little bit. Worked at Nicole Taylor's. I worked for Lane Milburn at Pioneer. I feel really lucky to have gotten to work with him. I mean, getting to experience working under a chef that, you know, comes from San Francisco. I feel like that was super valuable, and I'm thankful for that. And then I worked at Beholder for a minute, and now I'm at Bluebeard, and I do the lunch program, and it is super fun.
Yeah, the picture. I need to come in. The photos that I've seen online look phenomenal.
Thank you.
It looks like you're putting some really fun dishes. I can see the love. You still have the love in you.
Yeah,
you're not burnt out all the way yet.
Not all the way. Honestly, I think part of that comes from being a 9-to-5er in the restaurant industry. Like, what unicorn is that? You know,
Yeah.
like that's a super lucky position to be in. But I also have an amazing number 2 who his name's Justin, who like I couldn't do it without him. Like it. So, I mean, you know, having the right help makes all the difference in the world too.
Yeah, and Bluebeard is such a staple of the Indianapolis culinary scene that's also like very big shoes to walk into.
For sure.
And to do it justice. And I've heard nothing but good things about you, and like I said, I've had your cooking as part of competitions, and so like obviously they're in good hands, but like was there any trepidation when you took the job and like coming into that spot, or were you just excited to? So
honestly, I feel like I saw an opening and I took it. It was like post-pandemic, not post-pandemic, but like post like bulk of a pandemic when we were all kind of shifting back into normalcy as best we could. And we were going to start lunch back up again because at that time we had been running service like 11 to 9, I think, and all of us just worked all day, and there was no division of service. It was the same menu.
Yeah.
And so when they said that they wanted to start lunch back up, they were going to appoint these 2 people to do it, but they needed somebody to train them. And I was like, well, I'll work the morning shift for a few weeks and train them. But I was like, I feel like if I do that, maybe I could make that a long-term thing. And I did. It ended up being a really good fit for me to be in the morning with these guys. And we have a really cool program. Honestly, I'm really excited about our brunch that we have going. We have our same lunch menu all week long, but then just on Saturdays, we do 2 brunch specials. And it's really fun. It is a lot of work, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like a weekly exercise, like to come up with 2 new dishes every Saturday. But it's fun.
We got to come in there. I mean, you said the magic words, brunch and Saturday. So I feel like we got to come in there too. I love coming up with stuff, but yeah, I definitely feel the like, sometimes it catches it like all of a sudden it's like Thursday and it's like, what are we doing for brunch?
What are we doing for brunch? Yeah, totally, for sure. Sometimes I feel really inspired. I just got back from Hawaii. I went to Hawaii at the beginning of December, and it was awesome. And I got back and did a couple Hawaiian brunch specials. So
nice.
I got a little burst of inspiration there.
Yeah, spam on everything.
Yeah.
Just
well, we have spam fried rice on the menu normally, so that kind of worked out for me. But I did a loco moco.
Nice.
And then I also had a mochi pancake for the first time, which was
What's
super
that?
Good. It's just like a normal pancake, but they substitute half of the normal flour with half glutinous rice flour, which is just like starch bomb.
Okay.
And it makes like the pancake like a mochi texture. So it's like chewy, but the outside gets super crispy.
Nice and crisp.
Yeah.
Hey, we could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do that.
Super easy, super good.
We're just
help?
like gonna be delayed. We'll just look at Bluebeard and then like our menu's the same thing. Like,
That's the way we do it. There we
we're
go.
just drafting.
Can I ask you guys both a question? This is a chef to chef question from Thaddeus. Soma being closed, right? Like, does that, like, that's the big fancy restaurant that everybody wants to go eat at that costs what, $1,000 a plate? I don't know how much.
Are you
don't know.
talking about the fictional drug from Brave New World?
Well, what's the restaurant called?
Noma.
Noma, sorry. Did I say Soma? You could edit it that I said it right.
I could.
Yeah, you didn't have to be. Okay, well. All right. Noma.
Snowma.
Sonoma. But like, it's like a fancy restaurant that's pretty expensive. It's closing. Do you feel like, oh shoot, I wish I got to eat there? Or as a chef, do you feel like just show me the menu, I could recreate whatever they're making?
You guys were bummed when Frosty the Snowman closed, right? Nope. Let's give a bomb drop on that one.
Big time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we kind of worn that button out today.
Oh, no drops? The drops are broken?
The nose are broken, or the booze.
Booze are broken?
Nope.
No, man. Like, I wasn't. I mean, I'll let you answer first, but like,
Honestly, that style of restaurant has never really been my bag. I got nothing against it.
So
I
this
think-
whole meal you hated?
Oh no, I loved it. I had a great time.
Okay.
No, it was great. It was excellent. But it just like I don't know. I like to make I like to make sandwiches. I don't know. That's just sort
I
of
feel
the
that.
corner of food that I have carved out for myself. But I think that it is sad because it is such like, I mean, the fermentation program is, I mean, huge, whatever. I know that's helped a lot of people. But I think more important is the problem that they're addressing with their closing. You know, like just the problems with the industry. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah, I was never gonna. It's not like, oh man, there's 2 more days and I was gonna go there. I think being chefs from the Midwest, like, I mean, for me especially, it's just like there's an approachability like factor to food where I feel like when it becomes like there is like a break off point where I'm just like, this is just you're being gimmicky, but in a serious way. Like we're very gimmicky and like a kitschy, like wink wink, look what we did. Wasn't that fun?
We lit marshmallows on fire.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah,
like
dude.
we all knew we were having fun, right? Like
Yeah.
like if I had come in and been like, this is the serious, like not broke character. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's that's a different level. That's like what.
I feel like it like transcends food. Like he was saying, it's not just about like don't eat the food, taste the food. Like obviously there's the concept of a tasting menu, but then like in the movie, for example, it's taken even further. It's like just as much food as it is an art installation. I think you know, like I don't know. Sort of just transcends the food world a little bit.
I never want to go out for a meal of any kind where I have to go have another meal afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point it has to actually satiate me and satisfy me. You know, like when you're just doing concept for the sake of concept, that's when I check out.
If that's the experience that you're going for, if you're paying for that, knowing that that's what you're trying to get out of it, absolutely. But
it's just not my lane.
Same.
It's not my lane.
Same.
At all.
Exactly.
So like somebody that's like doing that, like if I had a choice to spend $300 going to something like that, or I had to take that $300 and just
buy cheeseburgers,
eat at a really good, or just eat at a really good restaurant that I was excited about, I'm always going to take that option.
I think it's a lot of fun to see some concepts and things like that. I enjoy going to like tastings, and I like to see I like the art aspect of food, but like on something like Nome, I mean, like the question of like, would I miss that? Like, I'm never going to afford to work there. And that's one of the cruxes of being a restaurant person, is that very few of us could afford to eat those kind of things, like go travel there and do that. And I mean, it just kind of like, I feel like it's like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like it's only sustainable if people like us give our labor away to make it possible for rich people to do. So there's a bit of that where it's kind of like, I don't really, I like art, but like I'm not heartbroken that Noma closed.
Right.
You know?
I mean, think about all the unpaid like people that do stages at restaurants of that quality. That is just like you said, it's just unpaid, just complete.
So no one has any FOMA over Noma.
That was a good one.
Yay! Yeah! Yes! I needed that. I did need that.
He's back on the board, baby. He's back on the board.
Thank you. Let's just pray real quick. The other thing is like, I guess we can't make a Noma for poor people in Indianapolis. I mean, unless we like skipped on some.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if the concepts would be compatible. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to do a tasting plate of something for somebody who really needs to eat.
At like Wheeler Mission or something.
You know what I mean? Like that's almost just cruel.
Yeah.
Now you put it that
and some
way.
of the stuff that's like popular right now, like I've seen like kale gummies. Like the idea of like making like that to me is just so, but like, just because you could do something doesn't mean you should.
It's the Jurassic Park question.
Yeah. And so it's like those kind of things. I'm just like, no, man, I'm cool. Like I would love to go to. I mean, there's plenty of Michelin star restaurants that put out amazing quality food. You know, like they're. I don't know where my off ramp is between. I just think that like once you're doing stuff for the sake of doing it, and it, like kind of like the. I don't want to eat two dinners, you know?
Well, and that's like when I feel like the love goes out of it too. You know, like in the movie, he talks about, the most important, we all cook with love. The most important ingredient is love. But it's like, he even admitted to like having not desired to cook for anyone for a long time. And it's like but then he cooks a burger and he gets really excited. And when you pigeonhole yourself into doing something just because it's the thing to do, you know, like, that's when you lose your love for it. And that's, you know, why you got to find your...
I feel like in some ways this is a really dark Ratatouille. where they, you know, spark the childhood memories of the...
There's
That's unfortunate.
That's great. Dude, you can probably write a thesis on the compare and contrast Ratatouille in the menu. No, they're like... I don't know, I lost my train of thought. That was such a...
I think overall it was like it was a great time. I would almost like to do this. Like this was the one I was like, I wish we could repeat this for someone that wasn't here. So like, you know, where we could just.
I never want to repeat that.
I really like
what and done.
I think the most gimmicky thing I like is the idea that something gets made only once.
Yeah,
like this menu. I love that idea.
Yeah.
That existed for us and for nobody else really. And I mean, it is, and I guess it is a sort of like exclusionary in a way because it only includes 5-6 people. But like, I don't know. That's my favorite kind of gimmick.
No, I felt the same way when the dessert came out. I thought that like getting to sit there while you guys were like simultaneously like plating, going around, and then like throwing shit at the table. Like it was awesome. Yeah, I felt lucky to get to be there. So I feel that.
Absolutely. Like, and I was like, did they like plan this? Like how they're going around and like slopping it down, and they would like switch directions almost. I was like, oh my word.
I think we both knew how to act like we were being fancy chefs. I don't know if that's what Dyke was doing, but that's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was playing an asshole.
You're just taking after Dyke. Like, oh, the way Dyke's doing, I'm going to try this. Oh, shoot. That's hilarious.
Oh, my God. It's also interesting. Like, I mean, I started doing brunch at Blackacre about 10 years ago, and watching how much the food scene in Indianapolis has changed over the past 10 years. How much, I mean, obviously everything kind of starts on the coast and moves inwards, but like just watching how much people's tastes have changed in the past 10 to 15 years in Indianapolis has been amazing. Because like I would try some things and it would just be like, oh, that's like, I was in culinary school, so I was excited, and it would be like, I served one thing for brunch and it was like take it or leave it, and people would come in and it was like, oh, they really like this, they really like this, and then you would try to take it up just a notch and it would be like too much for Irvington's taste or whatever. They'd be like, yeah, we're not eating roulades for breakfast, buddy.
Yeah.
But now I feel like they were like in some of the stuff that I, started putting on this menu, like you see them kind of everywhere now, and it's just like the game got raised up,
Yeah. Well, like the internet helps with that a lot, obviously. Like I feel like so many times I'll just like see something on like Bon Appetit's Instagram or, some random cook's Instagram, and it's just like, I don't know, you get inspo all over the place, you get exposure all over the place. That definitely helps open people's minds up a little bit too. Also, having like experienced education, like educated front of house, I feel like makes a really big difference in that too. Because if you've got servers that like know how to sell your weird shit, that makes a big difference.
How many years of experience do you like prefer?
For what?
Like what you said, like someone that has years of experience in the front of the house. What's like a 2-year, 3-year?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't work front of house.
Oh, okay.
I just like coming from like, I just know how important front of house is to back of house. Like when they say like it's a team, like I know there's obviously a lot of division there, but it is really important. And it makes servers will sell your stuff differently, and if you have something weird on the menu, it does make a difference how it's sold. So that's,
I feel like I'd be great at selling shit. Like I just like that.
I mean, you basically do that. That's basically, you are the front of the house for Harder Brunch.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
With this beer. This beer is really good. Anytime someone says something emotional, you can just put it up to your face and cover what's going on. It's a CV Champagne Velvet. Anything else that I have to say about this?
Did you lose confidence in the middle of a song?
I've never seen somebody bail out of an ad before.
No.
Is that it? Are we done?
No, this is Upland beer. It's great. Thumbs Upland.
Thumbs Upland. It went from an Upland ad to an Al Qaeda video.
Am I done?
Upland is treating me very nicely.
Can I go home? Can I go home and see my family? I'm scared. No, Thumbs Upland. Guys, if you guys want a free Upland beer, just tag this.
How about a $50 gift certificate?
Even better. Tell me about this.
Yeah, just tag us in Thumbs Upland. Tag Harder Brunch and Upland Brewery and hashtag Thumbs Upland.
This is real. So if someone does that, they put their thumb up, they don't even need a beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small contest, so if you do it, you probably will win. You just have to do it and send it to us.
Okay.
The odds are really good.
If you send us a thumbs up,
yeah,
tag Upland,
hashtag Thumbs Upland,
and Harder Brunch.
Yes.
Why is your phone out, Thad?
And,
I don't think you can do it.
And a picture of your thumb up. Let's do it. We'll be the first one.
Yeah, we'll be the first one.
Let's do it live here.
This thumbs up there, and
the selfie's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, Let's actually do a real selfie live on.
Uh-oh.
In 5, 4, 3. My thumbs in there. Hey, we did it. Thumbs up, Lynn. All right. Yeah, you guys, it's gonna be great. Thank you for letting me interrupt.
That was great. It was great. I've never seen an ad go smoother.
Is that true?
No. I've never seen somebody lose confidence halfway through an ad. That'd be funny, like a Super Bowl commercial. Like halfway through, somebody's like, "Are we done here?" I don't know. That was good. No, Thad, you have another 15 seconds.
I thought you were gonna attaboy me, like do a good yes and with the whole thumbs upland thing. I was like, no, he's not coming in with it. He's not coming in at all, actually.
I'm more of a no but guy than a yes and.
You heard it, ladies.
Good God.
You can't shake your head and then laugh at the same time. Give me the damn applause button. That's 2 for 2, baby. Give me my applause. No, I'm done.
So you said you just went to Hawaii, and I think there is something about travel that's so like, I mean, obviously we can travel with our phones, but I love leaving and going and eating everything else. It's always so funny to me when people are like afraid to like give you food, and they're like, "I don't want you to judge me because you're a chef," and I'm like, I'm a chef because I love food, obviously. Like I love.
I'll eat anything. I'm a garbage disposal.
I love when other people cook for me because I don't have to cook it, you know. And you're gonna cook something different than I am, and that's possibly gonna teach me or inspire me to do something different that I don't already do.
Totally.
So I love that. Which island did you go to?
Oahu.
Nice.
Yeah. We rented a car and we made friends with a couple of the bartenders in the area that we were staying in, and they told us like where we should go.
Yeah, the real places.
Yeah, so we found this really cool shrimp truck that was up on the north side of the island. It was like parked on a shrimp farm, so we had some like crazy fresh shrimp. Ooh. It was ballin'. And then I got some poke right off the beach, which was so badass.
What? They made it for you on the beach?
Like right, yeah, it was like in a truck, like right there. Yeah. And then I don't know. We just got to eat really fresh, delicious seafood and hang out. Everybody was so nice. It was really cool.
And then you come back and you're like, let's put this stuff on the menu.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great.
Where's the next vacation?
Oh shoot, I don't know. I kind of want to just go back to Hawaii and not come back to Indiana.
My favorite place, I think, is New Orleans.
Nice.
I'll do that. I've done that a lot. I think we kind of tentatively have plans for the three of us to go down there. About quarterly, I think we do a like the New Orleans menu comes up a lot. Mm-hmm. I have to stop myself from cooking it every week.
Sure. Yeah, New Orleans is awesome.
What are your places in town that aren't Bluebeard that like when you go out, when you have a night off and you get to go out and be treated, what's your jam?
Oh no.
Very curious.
So I'm a homebody. I DoorDash a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I eat a lot of acai bowls from that smoothie place in the garage. They're very good.
Yeah.
And they're relatively healthy.
Yeah.
I think. So I do that, honestly. But if I do go out, I always go get some gyoza at Strange Bird before I go anywhere because I live very near there. It's a good place to start the evening.
Strange Bird.
And they have the best gyoza. And then I really like Iozzo's for pasta. I used to go when Alan was there all the time. So fire.
Shout out to that guy.
What, Alan?
Alan. Yeah, he's
Chef Alan
great.
Sternberg, friend of the show.
Yeah. Oh, him. Yeah. Same guy. No, he's very talented. I just want to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anytime I get to say, like, shout out to this dude, this guy makes some of the best pastas I've ever had.
Dude, there was this one dish he had on the menu for a while there that was, I loved it so much because it was so simple. It was literally just like burrata filled ravioli, butter sauce, and pink peppercorns. And it was so fire. So, yeah.
He made a pasta one time for us, like we were doing a Harder Brunch, and his pasta like buried everybody's food for the rest of the meal because everyone's like ate so much of the pasta. Sorry, y'all. Everybody ate so much of the pasta.
I wasn't here that day.
Might have been though. Might have been. And like, it's like, how do you go from eating like a spicy, delicious mix that you've never had before in your life, that kind of changed your life a little bit, kind of made you tear up, to something that was bland?
Was that the one that you called too spicy or too salty in a good way?
Yeah, because someone else
I remember that.
Everything else after that tasted bland.
Sure.
It was like, oh man, like this guy can't go first.
You've ruined
anymore.
my palate for any other food.
Yeah, I was like, don't let him go first in any of our courses at all. I'm done. Screw that guy. Actually, I don't even like him anymore.
Full circle. Half circle.
Show off.
Randy, thank you very much for being on the program today. Do you do social media? Do you like people to follow you and keep up with everything you're doing, or do you just want to put Bluebeards?
Sure. I mean, you can find me on Bluebeard's thing. They post about my brunch specials every Saturday. So if you're interested in following me, you can find me through Bluebeard for sure.
Awesome. Thaddeus J?
You know, you can find me at Thad McKee, Instagram and Twitter. If you are just sitting around with your Twitter like, wait, what am I doing? Like, do I still have this? Follow at Thad McKee and Harder Brunch.
Zach Rome?
You can find me at Zach_Roan on all social media.
And our video producer, Casey Campbell.
Hey there. Yep, you can usually find me around Black Circle, making people feel comfortable.
In illegal ways.
That sounds all above board. At Dyke Michaels on all social media. Also, if you're a big a fan of coffee as I am,
Oh my gosh.
and you want to drink the Tinker coffee that we're always drinking here on the Harder Brunch program, you can actually drink it at your house with a coffee subscription. They'll bring it right to your house. And if you use promo code BRUNCH, you get 25% off. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you pay them enough, they'll come inside your house.
Oh, that's...
Nope.
Let's maybe workshop that one.
Let's.
Well, I didn't think about how that would sound. I didn't think. Sorry, Tinker. I did not think about how that would sound.
We're gonna work on our ads, and we're gonna take it back to the drawing board. And we'll see you next time on the Harder Brunch Show.
Bye bye.